Good morning, guys and gals. This is your host, Joe, Life with Josef. Yet another story time here on June the 10th. I had to move around just to sit in the shade. I got one or two left here to make, and I'm running out of steam. I need my coffee and breakfast, so here we go. I'm going to pipette a pic of teenagers throwing water balloons off the roof of a 6-story building onto people and cars. Now, you know this is idiotic as all hell, but of course I have a story for this. Have I done this? Well, in a sense, yes. My aunt and uncle, my aunt and uncle, as it turns out, lived in El Cerrito, up in the hills. You drive up Barrett, and they lived on La Honda. And they had a balcony, not on the top floor, where they really should have. The view was spectacular. I always liked that house. But the second floor, off of the family room, for lack of a better room, was a patio that wrapped around the west side, and then a little bit of the north side. That's where the dog did his business. But for the most part, you know, you could sit out there. Well, we were young, you know. There were 8 of us kids. You know, the 4 my mom and dad, and the 4 that Hank and Carol had. Both were blended families. So my mom and dad and Hank and Carol are, you know, playing cards, and we've got water balloons. So we start filling up the water balloons, and the balcony, Barrett runs down, and it takes a pretty good arm. Well, I had a decent enough arm at the time to where a couple of us guys could reach Barrett from the balcony with a water balloon. Now you got to handle them kind of gently. You can't squeeze them too hard or the water balloon will break. So this was at night, and we'd be throwing water balloons at the cars. Sometimes we'd hit them, and sometimes, well, we hit an AC transit bus, and then we just said, okay, we ran out of water balloons, and we're grab acid, and there's a knock at the door upstairs, and it's El Cerrito PD. And so my parents and my aunt and uncle are answering the door, and the 2 officers are there, and they're explaining, we think your kids are throwing water balloons off your balcony, and they really need to stop this. So we definitely got a little bit of a discipline. I mean, you know, my dad wasn't one to hit us, but he put the fear of God, he put the fear of God into me. Now, one of my brothers, my younger brother, I remember he did something that my dad said, if you do it again, I'm going to put your bike up on the rafters all summer. And I remember standing in the garage, seeing my brother's bike tied up in the rafters of the garage. My dad didn't say a whole lot of times, but when he said something, he meant it, and you better be paying attention. He meant what he said and said what he meant. And I remember my brother was oh God, he got in trouble for something, so he had to stay he was on restriction. So first it was only the house. Now my late brother Kurt kind of had to oversee this. So, you know, my mom and dad were working by now. So then it was, okay, you can go on the porch, and then the yard, and then, okay, my brother earned his privileges back. But by God, we threw water balloons just like this. So this allegedly. This is your host, Joe, Life with Josef. Another story time. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you. And we'll see you for the next one.